Hi, friends, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. Today, after a long hiatus, we have Gaurav Chakraborty after a long break from our channel. Of course, Gaurav, I was waiting for. I got your views on Facebook a little bit, and I wanted to catch up with you in detail. About the debacle, or let's say the heartbreak, the upset, the uh, the biggest upset probably in all the World Cup history, which happened on 19th of November. And that day, it will take us a lot of time to come out of that day. I mean, we have talked a lot, we have ranted a lot, all the emotions have come out, but still the hurt remains, and it remains so deep inside us. I don't know how much time it will take. I have not yet recovered from 2019 semi-final itself. So I don't know how much more time it will take for me to recover from this. So just wanted to know, Gaurav, where did it all go wrong according to you after winning 10 out of 11 matches to fall at the last hurdle? I'm opening the floor to you. What do you think was wrong and what went wrong there?
I much there are certain things I would like to point out here. I think first of all, India lost a very crucial toss. I
Hmm.
thought the pitch for the final wasn't ideal. The ground for the
Hmm.
final wasn't ideal.
Hmm.
Because what happened that I'm pretty sure if Australia batted first on that surface, they wouldn't have gone past 200.
Yeah.
Frankly speaking,
But
uh,
Gaurav,
it was
Rohit said on at the toss that they would have batted first
I
anyway. So
I'm not
I.
quite sure. I'm not quite sure about that because I mean it could
Hmm.
be that Rohit didn't read the pitch rightly, or maybe it was a plain bluff. You do in
Yeah.
such a high profile matches, you don't want to give an inch to your opposition
Yeah.
mentally even. So that's why you sometimes you do say such thing that his toss is immaterial or something like that. But
Yeah.
I surely do believe the pitch played its part in the
Yeah.
final. Had it gone
Yeah.
the other way around, that India would first, India would have been in a winning situation. I'm pretty sure India would have won the match.
Hmm.
But similarly, um, I think another thing I would like to point out here, because I said that the ground wasn't right, because Australia were 47 for 3 at one point of time, chasing to 40 in a
Hmm.
crunch game. To be in a
Hmm.
situation like 47 for 3 isn't ideal. Chasing 240, still more than 190 runs to go. You never know. One or two wickets here and then. I think Travis said was a bit lucky in that new ball. He was beaten quite a lot, but he didn't age anything. But I'm pretty sure had it been in Mumbai, in Wankhede or in Eden Gardens,
Hmm.
the roof of the stadium would have been blown away in that
Hmm.
47 for 3 situation. With the crowd
Hmm.
would have acted as the 12th man. I am pretty disappointed with the Ahmedabad crowd. Even if you have 1 lakh people inside the ground, if you cannot
Hmm.
be the 12th man of your team, then it's a really sad thing, because
Hmm.
I could see that 1-4 goes away, 1-6 hit gets hit, and the crowd was pin drop silence. There was absolutely pin drop silence. You cannot show that
Hmm.
disappointment at that point of time, because
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure had one of them, Travis said, or Labuschagne
Hmm.
got out, if we had done
Hmm.
the 70 for 4 or a
Hmm.
105 situation, India would have still been with a shot in that good wicket.
Hmm.
The wicket got really easy, and there was absolutely nothing after the new ball.
Yeah.
So that was one factor. Another thing I'd like to point out, it's not as you said, that it's the biggest upset. I won't say that. The biggest upset is still the 1983 World Cup final.
Yeah.
India had absolutely no chance beating West Indies, and India won
Hmm.
that. This is not that thing, because those who follow cricket, knows that Australia
Hmm.
in crunch games or in such latter stages of the tournament has such a dangerous side. As Osman
Hmm.
Samiuddin pointed out in Cricket Info article, that Pakistan threw their best side in 99 to Australia, and
Yeah,
Australia won.
I read that.
Sri Lanka
Yes,
threw their best side to Australia in
2007.
2007. Australia
Yeah.
won. New Zealand threw their best side to Australia in 2015. Australia won. And now India is probably greatest ever one-day side. Have been beaten by Australia in the final. So Australia know how to win crunch matches. Another point I'd like to make that to win big tournaments, you need to have confidence in your ability. Many people may say that India were overconfident by winning 10 matches on the trot, but I'd like to disagree. I thought India were throughout the tournament, India were actually a bit low on confidence. And why I say that, because every time, every match India played, there was a lot of talk about pitches. You see
Yeah.
the venue, the choices of venues and the types of wicket we played. Mm, like say the first game against Australia at Chennai, it was totally designed for India to beat Australia in Chennai slow turner. And as it stood out that Australia batted first on that surface, it was quite similar to the Ahmedabad track. Right. At that point of time, Australia batted first and barely got to 200. They were bowled out for 190. We played Afghanistan on a rank road. It was flat as road in Delhi. We played Bangladesh on a flat surface in Pune. If you see the knockout, if you see the league stages and even in the semi-finals, only twice the teams were not bundled out by India. Which are the two occasions? Afghanistan and Bangladesh. They were not bowled out by India. And were they the better side than some other teams? No, they were not. But only simply because India played them on flat batting surfaces in Delhi, Firozshah Kotla and in Pune. That's why we couldn't bowl them out. So that speaks a lot of story about how low on confidence. India should have gone away in the final saying that whatever pitch you give, we'll win. Because there's a lot of hue and cry before the semi-final game against New Zealand as well, where the pitch was changed in the last minute to a used pitch, and I'm pretty sure that actually worked in favor of India. Also, it worked in favor of New Zealand as well. They were for a lot of time they were in the game actually with the Darrell Mitchell and Kane Williamson partnership. Even India scored almost 400. New Zealand were in the game for a long time. Why that happened? Because in Wankhede you could see the earlier matches that people used to get 4 wickets, 5 wickets, 6 wickets with the new ball. Even Australia lost 4 against Afghanistan with the Afghanistan pacers, with the weakest link of their bowling attacks. Naveen-ul Haq and Azmat Omarzai picked up 2 each. So what happened with that pitch in Wankhede? They cut up the grass. So that's why the toss became a bit irrelevant. That's what I liked it about the semi-final clash. It was done to ensure that had India lost that toss, India still would have been, they still had the chance to beat New Zealand batting second.
Yes.
That was the problem. They knew that they were going to face Saudi and Bolt under lights in maybe a swinging condition. The ball will move. So that's going to be difficult. So what happened in the New Zealand game, the ball moved there also, but to a lot lesser extent than some of the other games. Lesser extent. And after 10 overs, it was flat as a rope.
The sea breeze actually comes from the Arabian Sea at 7 to 8 p.m. in Mumbai. That's when, Azmatullah Umarzai bowled that beautiful delivery to David Warner. I was there at the stadium. Because of the sea breeze, you get a lot of movement. But we did cut the grass and ensured that.
But then we have seen a lot of matches over the years in Wankhede. Have you seen this much of exaggerated movement over the years? I don't remember. So the ball did move around even in the World Cup final in 2011. Ball did move around a little bit, not that alarmingly. But this time of the year, I thought all the matches, the first the team batting second somehow collapsed. Be the England South Africa game, it's South Africa. England lost 5 in power play. Australia lost 4 against Afghanistan. Sri Lanka lost a lot of wickets at 6 or 7 in the first 10 overs. So even Bangladesh, I think, lost 4 wickets against South Africa.
I also
So all
thought this was an exception, especially matlab, the ball did swing, and I've never seen Bumrah get that kind of in swing ever. Even in bowling in England, I've not seen Bumrah bowl those kind of deliveries that we were seeing.
yes. So my
Hmm.
point is, if you have such a good team at your disposal, with such a cracking batting lineup at your disposal, why not play on a flat surface, trusting your team? Because your fast bowlers bowled really well throughout the tournament, Bumrahs and Shamis, even on flat surfaces. Your spinners came into the party, even on flat surfaces. You remember the Jadeja spell against Bangladesh on a flat surface. Your batting is super good throughout the tournament, with Gill scoring over 350 and Rahul got over 450. Iyer got over 500. Rohit almost 600 and Virat over 700. So you have 5 of the batters in absolutely. I don't remember any World Cup side for India where the 5 batsmen, all of them scored at some point of time and scored heavy runs. So that's why you should have backed your side. You say what would have happened on a good surface. Had India got to a 350, I am pretty sure India would have got to 350 or 370 on a good surface. And what would have happened in a World Cup final? It's not easy to chase 350 even on a road, because there are a lot of factors are there to be judged. You cannot just go and there and enjoy. It was pretty easy down there for Australia. It was pretty easy game. They knew all along. You remember the field placement Pat Cummins had. There was absolutely no mid-off. As Ashwin pointed out, it was off-spinners field.
And Australia has never, actually, during the tournament also, Australia has never chased 300. The highest they chased was against Afghanistan, that was 292. And they don't have the batting lineup, actually, if you see, with 2 players like Steve Smith and Labuschagne. That actually limits their chasing ability of, chasing a high score. So
higher total, absolutely. The 2 key players here is the top order. Warner, top order is the key. Warner, Marsh, and
Maxwell.
Head, and later down the order is Maxwell. And
Hmm.
I am pretty sure that Maxwell is a hit and miss kind of a cricketer. He probably played the greatest ever one-day knock in the history of the game against Afghanistan. I'm giving salute to him. But if you see how he approached the South Africa game, the first ball he came, he wanted to do reverse sweep. That's what you get from Maxwell. You get one such cracking innings and some idiotic dismisses as well. So with Maxwell, you, as a bowling unit, you will always feel a chance. If I can get him out, then the next guy is Josh Inglis. And with Josh Inglis, with not much experience around his back, and he didn't have a very good World Cup either.
Great tournament. He just had one decent game against South Africa in the semifinals where he stood calm during the pressure. That's
it. He didn't have a great World Cup either. With the tail coming in, so what would have happened had we got Himathu Head out? What would have happened that in a big chase, that would have pushed them to play the big shots, and there's a chance the chance lies for taking their wicket. And if you suddenly get Maxwell in the crease, you never know. You can get him out in 5 balls. You may not get him out, but it's a different story. But at least you create a chance for your team.
And we would have had slips also. We would have had slips. We would have all those catching positions that were totally missing in the second.
I was little disappointed with Rohit's captaincy in the final because there was pretty defensive fielded. And also to start with, Shami wasn't a correct move because all along the Shami was dangerous with the semi-new ball.
It was a desperate move. Very desperate move.
Very little move. I can totally understand that how Rohit came about that decision. I know many people would have done the same thing because knowing the 240 is not enough. So I need
Hmm.
to get in early wicket. So why not bring in my best wicket
Best
taker
bowler. Hmm.
early? But I think sometimes you need to be a little patient to
Hmm.
not get
Hmm.
overawed by the occasion or the emotion of the
Yeah.
situation. So I thought that was one mistake, because what happened there, that
Hmm.
you put Mohammad Siraj totally out of the game, because
Hmm.
he's not a old ball bowler, or with a
Bowler.
semi-new ball
Yeah.
bowler. So
Yeah.
but with Siraj, we'd have got the
Hmm.
control early, which was required at the point that
Hmm.
Shami didn't have the control. Although he got the
Hmm.
wicket of David Warner, but Shami didn't have
Hmm.
the control,
Control over the swing.
which was
Yeah.
seen for the last few matches with Shami. So that was one issue.
Gaurav, I have
So
one more question actually for you. So now, talking about India's batting, of course, we talked about pitch. Once the game started, obviously nothing could have been done about the pitch. It was a mistake and everything. Now we have seen 2020 one T20 against Pakistan. We were very cagey and cautious. I mean, we lost early wickets in the power play itself. Again, in 2019 semi-final, we lost a lot of wickets in the power play itself. We were 92 for 6. Same thing happened in Champions Trophy. We were 54 for 5 when Hardik Pandya and Jadeja stitched a partnership. Then again, we saw in 2022 T20 World Cup semi-final against England. We somehow scratched our way to 170. Again, you can see there is a pattern of batting cautiously. Uh, you're afraid of what's going to come. You're batting with a fear of failure, basically, throughout the knockout stages. Uh, the only batsman I thought who totally overcame that was Shreyas Iyer, because in semi-finals he scored the fastest 100 ever scored in the semi-final. I think that knock against New Zealand, totally complementing Virat Kohli's anchor role, where he got his 50th century. So you think that Indian batting could have done something different once, uh, we were 10 overs 81 for 3 and Australia were 46 for 3. They were under more pressure, kind of. The ball was doing, the crowd was, whatever you may say, but the crowd was against them basically. And we were 10 overs 81 for 3. Yes, we lost 3 quick wickets, but the rebuilding phase like just took forever. I mean, there was like 16 to 25 overs. There were 10 overs which were bowled by 7 different bowlers by Pat Cummins. I mean, Pat Cummins was very good in his tactics and planning. But what could have India done? Like, I just want to know your thoughts about it.
see, I know where this is coming, but the thing is that, see,
Hmm.
there are two ways of thinking about that situation. One is you
Hmm.
go hell for leather, forget
Hmm.
about the situation, and better be prepared to get 140 or 170 all out.
Yeah.
By doing so, with a below
Hmm.
par score, absolutely no chance. But the
Hmm.
most of the people in such situation do think the way KL Rahul did that day, because
Hmm.
what I saw, that India were trying to reach a target, at least to give the bowlers at least even if it is a very slim
But
chance of
at
defending that
81
total.
for 3, is the situation so dire?
I,
Like,
I,
it's not.
I know, because that happened only because we don't have a number 8. Our number 8 is
Number 8.
Mohammad Shami. And I have
Yeah.
always said, before the Hardik's injury also, that Hardik Pandya is the most important player in this lineup, because
Yeah.
he actually lends the balance to the side. And when
Hmm.
Hardik was gone, your number 8 is, see, your number 8 is Shami. Not only that, your
Hmm.
number 6 is Surya Kumar Yadav. And I
Hmm.
don't think team management trusts him. I
Hmm.
really do believe that team
They didn't
management don't
trust him.
trust
Not
him.
on the big day, he
And
was sent
that's
after
what,
Jadeja. So that shows that
after
they had
Jadeja,
no trust.
and Jadeja having a horrible form with the bat for the
Hmm.
last 2 years or so in one day cricket. So
Hmm.
these two guys, suddenly what
But
happened, that
Gaurav, why
first
did
thing,
they pick him? If they don't trust him, then why did they pick him in the 11 when he has
I
he's
think
averaging
they picked it on
20 in
the X
the.
factor.
Hmm.
I think
Is
they picked it on the X factor, but I don't think that the X factor never came. and
There are
sadly,
10, 20 players in
unfortunately,
India who have this X factor, and he's averaging 20. If
and
you
I
have that
tell you,
confidence, hmm,
I tell you that I don't know. Maybe the old days were better in terms of having this kind of ex cricketers or like that. You know, in Pakistan cricket, what used to happen? The Javed
hmm,
Miadad saw Wasim Akram bowl in a club game, and he
hmm,
suddenly knew the potential, and he drafted him the Pakistan squad straight away for the New Zealand tour. He
hmm,
wasn't even in a first class team. He was playing a club cricket. He saw the potential, and next day, the guy is in the plane
hmm,
for the New Zealand tour. So,
hmm,
in such situation, you tell me today, who would have been a good choice for the number 6 role? That there's plenty of options. You Rinku Singh, for example,
yeah, yeah.
whatever
I mean,
whatever he played, whatever I have
hmm,
seen, even in the T20 games for India colors, he's
hmm,
a very
hmm,
sensible guy.
hmm,
Headwise, he's
hmm,
headwise very sensible. He knows when to attack and how to attack.
hmm,
He's
hmm,
not always go bang bang. He has his
hmm.
game. He knows how to play
How
in
to
such situations.
like he played a straight
The
drive
great,
also. He has those shots
yeah,
that touch also. He played a leg glance. These shots also he plays. I mean, he's
yeah,
very intelligent.
the great number 6 batsman over the years. You see Michael Bevans, you see
Hmm.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni's, and all these people who have the two games. They know
Hmm.
how to defend when the
Yeah.
situation demands, and they know how to
Hmm.
attack
Hmm.
when the situation arises in such circumstances. That's why they are
Hmm.
greats in those positions. That's
Gaurav,
what my problem is today.
I think if Surya Kumar Yadav would have been trusted that day and sent out in 28th over, I am sure he would our total would have been better because uh, I'm sure he would have taken his time to set up. Anyway, KL Rahul had totally
He
blocked
doesn't have any
from one.
shots. With the spinners, he has only one
Hmm.
shot, which is sweep. And with the
Hmm.
fast bowlers, he always try to play this ram shot
Yeah.
behind the fine leg area.
Fine leg. Yeah.
In slow surfaces, you ask
Hmm.
any batsman in the world who are the great batsmen, in the slow
Hmm.
surfaces, the
Hmm.
easier area to score runs is straight down the ground,
Straight.
not
Yeah.
behind the wicket. You play the behind the wicket shots when the wicket is true and good, with the ball
Hmm.
coming in a true pace.
Hmm. Even
With
KL
the true,
Rahul's
with,
favorite shot is the late cut. Like he plays that shot very
yes,
good, which he was not able
I
to
could
play actually.
understand. I could understand KL Rahul. I am not defending KL Rahul here. First of
Hmm.
all, they scored
I was going
72,
to come to that. I'll come to that later. Yeah.
72 they scored 72 runs in 20 overs.
Hmm.
After 10, they scored 72 runs in 20 overs. This should never have
Hmm.
been 72. Always been around 100.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
I
saying
mean,
that you go hell for leathers or go bonkers with the attack, but all
hmm.
I am saying that they shouldn't have played those dot balls.
Hmm.
And
Especially to the fifth
Virat
bowler.
started,
Hmm.
and that to the fifth bowler, and
The
Virat,
sixth bowler.
surprisingly other days Virat takes time, but
Hmm.
on that final day Virat actually started really well.
Started well,
And
well.
if you see Virat knock up 54 of 62 deliveries,
I,
that is
I
absolutely fine, no
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
with
I
that.
don't have any problem with that talk. I think it's vintage Virat Kohli, and according to the pitch, it's
Yeah.
the strike rate is
The
also too
problem
good.
with KL Rahul was, I think KL Rahul, this is the problem with KL Rahul. He is too much
Hmm.
into negativity while batting and not trusting himself more.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
know where he was coming, that Iyer wicket was a crucial blow actually. The people may talk
Hmm.
about the Rohit dismissal, the Iyer blow is actually
Yeah.
because what happens to happen that if Iyer got settled there, he could
Hmm.
attack spinners.
Yes.
He is the only Indian in this lineup who could attack spinners,
Hmm.
the right-hander.
They would not have
So
bowled
what
Maxwell and
happened?
Travis Head so easily. Like they got away with those overs,
Yes, yes, yes,
so
yes, absolutely.
conveniently. Hmm.
Another thing which actually went wrong for India, if you see the template of India's batting throughout the tournament,
Hmm.
Rohit took attack. First
Yeah.
ball, Rohit in to be not on attack.
Yeah.
What used to happen? The most of the time, the first batsman which used to get out was Rohit Sharma also.
Yeah.
So the role comes that Rohit gives a brisk start, then
Hmm.
Then Kohli comes in, he plays the
Hmm.
anchor, and then the others play around
Gill,
Kohli, the likes of Gill and the
Gill,
Ayers and the
hmm.
first thing which went wrong was Gill getting out.
Gill getting out.
What
Yeah.
happened that there was the solidity which was there
Hmm.
the other end of Rohit was missing.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Rohit cannot let the attacking mode go away. He had to
Hmm.
play that attacking shot. With that
Yeah. Yeah.
attacking approach, you know that there is always a risk. So you
Yes.
are not now. You are not one down, but you are two down with Rohit's dismissal,
Even in
and you
hindsight,
never
when I
know that.
see, I don't blame Rohit Sharma. Even in hindsight, I don't blame him for that shot because we were
No,
consistently.
actually,
Hmm.
no. Rohit, what Rohit has done in this World Cup is absolutely incredible. Even in the
Incredible.
semi-final, you see the innings he played in the semi-final.
Hmm.
Where against,
Hmm.
he totally took apart Trent Bolt, the main
Yeah.
threat of the New
And
Zealand
he
attack.
always used to get these 90 ka target in power plays. And even in that over, he was trying the same because he saw Maxwell is coming for his second over. Let
I tell
him.
you another match. This is South Africa match. I was there at the Eden Gardens watching South India
Hmm.
versus South Africa. The
Hmm.
wicket was hardly a 230 to 240 wicket at
Yes.
best.
Yeah.
How much India got? India got
325.
326.
Yeah.
326 they got. So why they got that? Because of the start given by Rohit
Start.
Sharma. India were 93 after 10
Hmm.
overs.
Hmm. Hmm.
So even in that match, India's from 11 to 20th, India got,
Hmm.
I think, around 31 runs in 10 overs.
Hmm.
Iyer and Kohli. 31
Yeah.
runs in 10 overs.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what they did smartly was they played out Keshav Maharaj. They knew that the
Keshav
main
Maharaj.
threat on that surface was Keshav Maharaj.
And he was bowling
So
so
Keshav
well
Maharaj
that day. He almost got Virat Kohli
actually
that out. Yeah.
he bowled like a dream in this World Cup. Keshav Maharaj has
Hmm.
been brilliant. He's very, I mean, he's not that much discussed around media,
Hmm.
but Keshav
Hmm.
Maharaj in this World Cup, he bowled like a dream. Even
And
in the Australia
he,
game, he bowled really well.
even in
But the
semifinals,
only
I thought
problem was he was not
they
getting
brought him
wicket.
very late. They brought him very late in the semifinals. He could have. I mean, we are
I
going
think,
a
I
bit
think,
away from the final,
yeah,
but
again, Temba, I think, made few mistakes that day. That was really
hmm.
schoolboy error.
Hmm.
But then I'll
But
back to that later on.
yeah.
But the thing is that what I'm trying to say that you at
Hmm.
least keep the score more moving with 20 overs. You can not 70. You can go to 100 actually. So
Yeah.
what would have happened had India got to 280? India would have won that match. I don't think so, Shikhar. I
Hmm.
don't think so. That's
Hmm.
why I said that each played its part,
I
and
mean, I don't think
that's what
India would
I'm
have
still saying.
necessarily won, but there would have been slips. There would have been. So now, what happens, Gaurav? Now 240 when batsmen are at 46 for three, they are thinking 200 runs to win, 194 runs to win. We just need one partnership. But if it's 280, I think they think one partnership is also not going to be enough. They need probably couple of partnerships, and I think that confidence is not there anymore. I feel
But then
240
Australia
was.
would have got it. I think if India
Hmm,
had to win, India would have won it with 250 even. So
yeah.
that I
Uh,
think let's
hmm.
say that
What
Australia
really?
were better side, better prepared side for the final. They were
Hmm,
tactically far more superior, and also they got
hmm,
the advantage of the pitch also. But then, having
hmm,
said that, I think we Indians shouldn't cry over the pitch because we. I
hmm,
think this may be a very controversial statement, but I haven't seen. I'm watching World Cup since 1992, but I was very young
hmm,
in 92, so couldn't understand the nuances of the technicalities of the game. But since
hmm,
1996, I'm watching every match of the World Cup. Uh,
hmm,
but what I like to say that with very controversial once again that I have never seen a home side doing
hmm.
such things over pitch and
Yeah,
conditions. And
yeah, yeah,
it was actually very ugly at some point of time. The too much talk
yeah.
around pitches and saying of BCCI and the coaches and captains. I think
Hmm,
I am not. I am all for home advantage,
yeah.
but in a global tournament, it looks bad.
And it
It
was
looks
not
bad. If your
required.
side
And
is good enough,
it was just stupid. It was not required at all. And
actually, that's if you
hmm,
even today, if you ask anyone, that they would have said that India was the best side of the World
hmm,
Cup.
yeah.
But you
Yeah.
also got to remember that not always
Hmm.
the best side wins.
Hmm.
Okay, in 1954 World Cup, in footballing parlance, I would like to say that in 1954, the mighty, the Magyars of Hungary
Magyars.
were the far superior side. They beaten
Hmm.
West Germany. Well, they scored 8 goals against West Germany in the group stages. They
Hmm.
lost to same West Germany in the final by 3-2. And there also the
Wow.
condition, there also the condition plays its part because it rained evening in Bern. We call the miracle of
Hmm.
Bern, and
Miracle
that's
of
what
birth.
the Adidas the shoes that Fritz Walter, the German captain, who is
Hmm.
to be a very good player in rainy conditions. And
Hmm.
the Adidas designed a special boot for such conditions for the German side. And
Hmm.
that actually, the condition played its part, and Hungary didn't win that World Cup. The Puskas, the Hidekutis, the Sander Coxes, the golden generation of
Hmm.
Hungarian football didn't win the World Cup.
Hmm.
And if you go to even Brazil, who have won 5 World Cups, you
Hmm.
see in
The
1982,
Maracanazo.
probably the greatest. I'm
Yeah.
not saying the 1950, the Maracanazo. I'll go back to that. But in 1982, the Tele
Hmm.
Santana's Brazil, with the
Hmm.
likes of Socrates, Zico, Falcao's, and all these
Hmm.
people around, and they lost to Paolo Rossi. They
Hmm.
lost to Paolo Rossi on a freakish day when Italy outscored them with 3-2.
I mean,
So
Italy
that's
had
what
a
I
great
say that the
defense.
goal.
They had Claudio Gentile and I don't
Yeah,
remember the
the
other.
Butcher of Turin,
Yeah,
Claudio
yeah.
Gentile, who marked
Baresi
Maradona in
was also there, I
1978.
think. Yeah,
Yeah,
Baresi,
so
Franco
so
Baresi was
so
also there. Yeah.
yeah, Baresi was there in 82. What I'm
Anyway.
trying to say that not always the
Hmm.
best side wins. The Zicos
Hmm.
and Socrates don't have a World Cup with them. But a
Hmm.
Mauro Silva or something like someone like that has a World
Yeah.
Cup in his name in 1994. So 1994's Brazil is nowhere near to 82's Brazil. The
Acha Gaurav,
2002's Brazil was a dream 11. So that's
hmm.
what I'm saying. That you need to know the art of winning. It is important.
Yeah.
You may have the best squad at your disposal. Mahendra Singh Dhoni won the 2007 T20 World Cup with a very novice side.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
not always the best team wins. And
Yeah.
you touched upon the Maracanazo thing. That feeling is still staying here in India also,
Hmm.
because that's the same kind of a thing that
Vibe.
Maracana having more than a lakh people inside the
Yeah.
ground waiting for Brazil to be crowned
Crowned.
champions, and crowned
Coronation.
champions. And a young Pele actually cried that. I mean, young Pele saw his father crying that night,
Yeah.
and promised him to bring a World Cup back in Brazil soon. And
Hmm.
I mean, as the saying goes, that he went on to win the World Cup 8 years
Win.
later
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Sweden, 1958.
But
So I
but
think,
But Gaurav,
yeah,
I know you defended KL Rahul a bit there, but I'm going to say one thing. Travis Head playing his first World Cup ever in 2023. He's not played in IPL. He's not played in front of big crowds. He's not had that pressure before in his life. The pressure of big crowds, that spotlight on him. Yeah, he's had a couple of good knocks in WTC and in Test circuit. He's had a couple of good knocks, but we Indians, we have seen a lot of such pressure moments through IPL, and KL Rahul has been playing IPL so long. Now there is a method to KL Rahul's batting. He always takes so the first 30 balls, his strike rate in T20 is also like 105, something like 105 is his strike rate in first 30 balls. And of course, he has the ability to go buzzer. I mean, there is no doubt on his ability. I personally, when he came into the Test squad in 2014 tour, I remember in Australia, I used to love KL Rahul. I was probably the biggest fan of KL Rahul, and it's now the exactly opposite. But I think he's just too, self uh, occupied. I mean, I don't know what to say because he could have, 37th over is an example I just want to give you. He's well set, and, Jadeja, uh, Surya Kumar Yadav has just come in. Of course, it's a tough pitch. He'll take some time. Maxwell to KL Rahul, 5 deliveries bowled. He plays 4 dots and 1 single in 37th over. So I didn't. There is no explanation like why would someone play an innings like that? And I mean, there is no difference. As per me, I understand pitch, but it was just a do or die moment for your country. Someone had to just counterattack, I felt, and he had that counterattacking ability, but he didn't have the mindset. I'll just say that.
See, I don't think the pressure with an IPL game is nowhere near to playing a game for India in a World Cup,
Hmm.
especially in a final. I think
Hmm.
the stakes are different, the priorities are different. I think pressure
Hmm.
is also different. I think even
Yeah, but
players, I
that's
think,
what BCCI says that people are ready because of IPL. That's the messaging that goes around. Na, ki
no, no,
we
no,
have all
no.
faced that.
I'm not quite sure about that
Hmm.
because in our domestic structure, we play a lot of knockout games, a
Hmm.
lot of knockout games because with so
Hmm.
many teams around in your
Hmm.
domestic circuit, you got to have a very big knockout system. Otherwise, you won't finish your domestic season in time.
Hmm.
So this knockout syndrome is a very I mean very unique for me to because Indian players out of all people should be well
Yeah.
prepared for a knockout because anytime they goes into the ground there is a pressure of a 1 billion
Hmm.
people. So
Hmm.
every time they enter the ground, the problem maybe is their own expectations here. I don't
Hmm.
think they have their own expectations in IPL which they have for an India game. I think they put
Hmm.
more into a India game than an IPL game. Mentally,
Hmm.
I'm saying. So
Hmm.
that is one issue. Secondly, there's a distinct pattern which is developing over the years because the last 9 years we have lost nine uh,
Hmm.
knockout games. And there
Hmm.
got to be a reason which is beyond your cricketing skills or abilities. I think it's more
Hmm.
mental because even out of law of average, you would have won two or three out of this nine.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
pretty even
Hmm.
in law of averages you win few.
Hmm.
But the thing is that few things which didn't go India's way that post
Hmm.
Champions Trophy, I think India lost. I think India lost most of the knockout game tosses. That's what
Yeah.
went against India. I remember India won a toss against Pakistan in the Champions Trophy final, which we decided to field and we lost. The
Hmm.
next time we won something in a toss was the New Zealand game at Wankhede, which we won.
Yeah.
So apart from that, I don't think India won any toss in between. So
Hmm.
that those some of the results I can understand that which could have gone into India's way had India won that toss, all important
Hmm.
toss. I think
Hmm.
these are the some of the things, but then you cannot put it as excuses. There must be
Hmm.
something wrong.
Hmm.
I think to overcome such things, in first you need to acknowledge that this is a problem. You need to
Hmm.
come out and say that it's not like so what Mohammad Kaif is doing is pure utter rubbish. That
Yeah. Yeah.
also we
Yeah.
are the better side of the paper and also see end of the day Australia won the World Cup and after 30 years people not going to remember that India won 10 matches out of 11. They'll remember Australia won a World Cup,
Australia
and
won.
this is probably I think Australia's greatest World Cup triumph, even better than the 1987 one.
Yeah. Thanks, Gaurav. That was a great discussion. Thank you for joining, and thank you guys for listening to us. Well, I hope this is the last rant on the final. We'll not be talking about it anymore. It's